The importance of learning how to negotiate deals in a creative fashion. And most people do not know how to get creative when it comes to structuring deals. Here's the beautiful thing about real estate is that it's all negotiable. The most important thing, and the thing that you have to get very good at, is fully understanding a seller's motivation, why they want to sell, what they need to get in a sale. You'll never be able to effectively present solutions to somebody until you fully understand what the problem is. I would encourage everyone to learn the enTREpreneur method, get comfortable being in uncomfortable situations, get comfortable asking questions, because if you do that, you're going to substantially increase your ability to get more deals done. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Real enTREpreneur podcast. Real enTREpreneur podcast. Today, what we're going to be talking about is the importance of being creative in deals and the importance of learning how to negotiate deals in a creative fashion. I mean, most everybody goes into negotiations and for buying real estate, but this can apply to anything. But they go into negotiations, for real estate of here's my offer. Seller counters, they counter with another, traditional offer, traditional financing, cash offer. And most people do not know how to get creative when it comes to structuring deals. But here's the beautiful thing about real estate is that it's all negotiable. You can negotiate seller finance deals with 0% interest. You can negotiate 0% down seller finance deals. You can negotiate taking over somebody's mortgage. You can negotiate anything. You can negotiate, the sale of this price plus this gift that you give them. You can negotiate, terms where there's no payment for 5-6 years to a seller. You can negotiate a deal where the seller gives you money back for your down payment for the deal. It's all negotiable. And if you're going in to negotiate deals and make offers on deals from a single track mindset of it's got to look this way, then you're already losing out on 95% plus of the opportunities that you're going to see. Because if you had the ability to get creative and offer things and really figure out what was important to the seller so that you could solve that problem, you would get a lot more deals done, and you would open up the ability for you to get a lot better deals because you were able to get creative. So when it comes to structuring deals and negotiating and making offers and getting creative with deals, the most important thing and the thing that you have to get very good at is fully understanding a seller's motivation, why they want to sell, what they need to get in a sale. That way you can start structuring solutions around that. And there are many ways to get a seller what they need. If a seller tells you that they need to sell a property for $300,000, for example, they don't necessarily need $300,000. They're just under the belief system that if they sell the property for a $300,000 price, they will end up getting what they need to solve whatever their problem is. Now, let's say that same seller who thinks that they have to sell their house for $300,000 in order to get what they need solves their problem of getting $20,000 after they have paid closing costs, realtor commissions, paid off their loan. They're going to net $20,000, and they need that $20,000 so that they can pay off $10,000 worth of debt, and then they can also use the other $10,000 for a down payment on a new home or whatever, right? But if we go into the conversation and we fully understand their motivation, what they're looking to do, why they need the money, what they're going to do with the money, why they want to sell, and why they want to sell like this, then you can start structuring a deal to solve their problem. But if you just go in to a deal where the seller wants $300,000 and you say, no, I'll buy it for $250,000, then you're not solving anybody's problem. You're likely not going to get that deal. And you also just wasted the opportunity to structure something creative where you could get them the $20,000 that they needed in order to move on with their life and sell you the property. For example, if they owed if they owed like $240,000 on the property at a 2% interest rate, You could maybe buy the property for 260 grand, give them 20 grand, take over their 240 note, take over their interest rate, and get them what they need so that they can go do what they need to do, and you can take over the property at that 260. But if you went in and just offered straight 260, cash or something, and they have closing costs, they have commissions, they got to pay off their note, maybe it doesn't achieve what they're looking to accomplish. So the most important thing that you must do is go into these conversations and fully understand what's going on with the seller. Because a lot of times, whatever they're telling you that they need, or the price or the terms of the sale, is only one way that solves their problem, when there are infinite other ways that could solve their problem if you spent the time to fully go in there and find out what they truly need and how you could solve it. We bought houses and properties many different ways. We bought them cash, we bought them seller financing, we bought them sub 2. We have structured deals where we give the seller the price that they want, and then they seller finance us the down payment that was needed in order to get the loan with the bank, so that we had $0 in the deal. There's so many different creative ways to go in there and solve it, but you'll never be able to effectively present solutions to somebody until you fully understand what the problem is. Otherwise, you're just guessing and trying to throw out things that are a good deal for you, but may not be something that solves the seller's actual problem. So, number one is you have to go in there and fully understand their motivation and what's going on. And the way that you do that is just by asking questions. Why do you want to sell for $300,000? Where'd you come up with that number? What are you going to do, if you sell it for $300,000? What are you going to take the money and do with the money? Why are you going to do that? Why are you moving out of state? Why do you want to sell now? Why don't you list it on the market? Do you have debt on the property? How much is your debt? What is your interest rate? What are your monthly payments? How much further on there? Do you really need $300,000, or do you really only need $20,000? If I could get you your $20,000, do you really care about the $300,000 price? You just go in, you start asking all these questions, and it's hard to give you an exact list of questions to ask because of how flexible you're going to have to be in these conversations when they tell you something and you ask another question based on whatever their answer was. And you should go through this process of asking questions and figuring out motivation and figuring out true needs until you fully land on the true motivation and needs of this sale, which is not to sell the house at $300,000. It is to sell the house so that they can pay off all the debt, pay all the closing costs, get $20,000 to pay off the debt of a car, and then go put $10,000 down on another property in Oklahoma because their wife just got a job as a nurse there. And then once you fully understand that, then you're able to go in and start presenting solutions that solve that and hopefully create a win-win scenario for you and the seller. Now, when you're able to go in there and navigate conversations like this, it also sets you apart from everybody else out there. Every single real estate agent out there is not going and talking to sellers and offering these types of solutions. Also, 95% of investors are also going out there and not offering these types of solutions. They're going out there and saying, we'll buy the property cash for this. The real estate agent is saying the only way to sell your property is to list your property like this. The buy and hold, rental investors going in and making their offer that fits their mold. But if you're able to go in and utilize what we call the enTREpreneur method of being able to offer solutions based on whatever their needs are, then you can make a lot of deals work that otherwise wouldn't work. For example, this house that's worth $300,000, I may be willing to pay $1 million for it if they would give me seller financing terms with 0% down, $1 monthly mortgage payments for 100 years, and a balloon payment of 200 years, right? That's not a bad deal necessarily. Sure, I'm overpaying by 2.5 times what the house is worth, but I also am getting it for $0. I'm only making $1 monthly mortgage payments. And for over 100 years, me and my family or whomever is going to cash flow on this property every single month. Let's do 100 years. I want to do some math on how much money you could actually make there. It's hard to really predict what the rents will be in 100 years, but let's just say the house would rent out for $2,200 a month. Let's say after taxes and insurance, you're left with $1,500. You only have $1 monthly mortgage payment. Times 12 times. Just if rent stayed the same and you did cash in that example, if rent stayed exactly the same and you over 100 years, which they wouldn't, and you cash flowed $1,500 a month because you got a $1 monthly mortgage payment on $2,200 rents, then you would make $1.8 million in cash flow over the 100 years, assuming all that is accurate. So in that instance, it makes sense to go ahead and pay $1 million for the $300,000 house if you can structure a creative deal like that, because you're going to have $800,000 profit. In reality, you'd probably have $5, $6, $10 million profit, because rents are going to increase substantially over the next 100 years. So if you're able to go in and think creatively and structure deals like that, you're going to get many more deals done, because you're focused not on you and what you need, but you're focused on what this seller's actual problem is and how you can solve it to get a good deal for yourself as well. So I would encourage everyone to learn the enTREpreneur method, get comfortable being in uncomfortable situations, get comfortable asking questions, get comfortable learning how to structure deals in a creative way, because if you do that, you're going to substantially increase your ability to get more deals done. You're going to substantially increase your ability to do more deals in general, because you're not buying them, a traditional way, and you're structuring them creatively. And a lot of sellers are going to love working with you, because you're focused on solving their true problem, and you're not just making some blanket offer, like all the other guys out there and girls out there are doing. So creative solutions, learn how to really understand somebody's problem so that you can solve it. In this way, you're really not even negotiating. You're simply just providing solutions and allowing the seller to pick which one works best for them. So it's almost like you're on their side and y'all are solving a problem together. It's really not even negotiations necessarily. At least they don't view it that way. They feel like you really care about their problem and you're trying to solve it. So you do this, you'll make more money, you'll do more deals, you'll work with more people, people will like working with you more, and you'll just all around be a better real estate professional because you've learned how to solve motivation and solve problems. That's it for today though. If you want to be a part of some of these creative deals that we're doing and you want to invest with us, go to TREcommunity.com/TR3, the number 3. Reach out to us. We want to connect with you. We want to do more deals with you. We want to partner with you. We'll see you next time.